Greetings. I am Xeneth, and this is Metroid Other M. A game that I've been avoiding playing for a long time, or rather, I guess I avoided playing it when it came out. Pretty universally criticized and panned, but I don't remember why exactly. I probably read those reviews and made the decision not to support the game by buying it. The Wii at the time was not my favorite or most used console, even though Metroid was one of my favorite series. I think the sentiment was this does not feel true to the series from either a gameplay or a storytelling perspective. And I guess I took the internet's advice at the time and just steered clear. Metroid Dread is coming. And this is the Metroid game that I haven't played. It may be the only one. Let's get into it. I am not wearing a wrist strap. Because in test recording and test footage, I discovered that this game has you switching back and forth between holding the controller sideways, like it's a weirdly log-shaped NES controller, because it only has 1 and 2, A and B. Yeah, hold the Wiimote in the horizontal position, please. So that was surprising to me. I will replicate that surprise. Sideways. What? Please press 2, because there is a second half to the Nintendo Wiimote. It looks like I did my diligence and deleted the test save when I first started out. I don't have a nunchuck on me, do I? I do. I have a nunchuck on me. This is useless, it turns out. That was the biggest surprise to me. It was just like, wait. And I guess we can go into that as we dig into it. Boy, it kind of warms my heart a little bit to hear that little refrain. That's how you know Nintendo, that's how you know Big N's gotcha, is when they can just play a little. They can play like 5 notes and you're like, oh, my childhood. Here's how they get you. I am holding the Wiimote sideways, and I am prepared. I have my note-taking set up. I am prepared to take copious notes. Cutscene, right?
Why am I still alive? The baby.
The baby Metroid. So this is canonically, these are the events of Super Metroid. These are the events of Metroid. So this game takes place between Metroid 3 and Metroid Fusion, is what I understand. Mother Brain, humanoid form. Huh. That's different. That is subtly different than how it happened in Super Metroid, I believe. Poor baby. Poor giant baby. You didn't ask to be giant.
Mother, time to go.
Kind of cool. Execution's a little weird, but like the idea of zooming into Samus's arm cannon and seeing like mechanisms ignite is
okay, Samus. Everything's
cool
normal.
Hi.
I awoke to the familiar voice of a quarantine officer.
The Marilyn Monroe
Let's try
was
sitting up, huh?
a very funny detail.
Slowly now.
A dream. I had been reliving the tragic moments of my recent past. Thanks to the hyper beam, which was given to me somehow by the baby, I laid Mother Brain to waste. And the explosion that followed destroyed planet Zebes, along with the remains of Mother
Zebes?
Brain
I always said Zebes,
the space
but I guess
pirates,
Zebes makes sense for the Japanese.
and my long-standing nemesis, Ridley,
Zebes.
and the baby.
Huh.
Come on, Samus. Let's go next door.
Come on, voice acting. Let's deliver that line.
Right, let's get started.
Ah, the Zero Suit. Much better.
Ready for a quick test, Samus? Let's start with a little warm-up. Try a charge beam for me.
Well, let's see. As we go over that, this guy's going to be complaining quite a bit, I think. So
Try a charge beam for me.
yeah, he's gonna be looping through. Try a charge beam for me because let's see. Yeah, we got no, we got a little proto note in there. Hoo boy. So
Try a charge beam for me.
the opening cinematic.
For me.
I'm not entirely clear why. Probably just the vagaries of like scripting, of having to like put together a thing and making it seem dramatic.
Try a charge beam for me.
In the original battle, it's the Metroid drains Mother Brain of power, is in the process of transferring it to you, and Mother Brain like slowly wakes up, and then shoots
Try a charge beam for me.
the Metroid, and they had the Metroid sort of like hovering above Samus after having given her the power. It's not terribly different. It's slightly different. I will try a charge beam. Dramatic camera angles. So, I am holding the controller sideways,
Try a charge
like
beam for me.
a NES controller in the shape of a log, and this was and is somewhat shocking to me, because I'm moving around with the D-pad.
Try a charge beam.
I'm hitting the 1 button, which would be positionally where the B button would be on an NES controller to shoot. And I'm hitting the 2 button, which is positionally where the A button would be on an NES controller to jump. This means the controls
Try a
have
charge
to
beam
be
for me.
exceedingly simple, right? Because we have immediate thumb access to up, down, left, right. It is a D-pad. It is a small D-pad. there's an A button to the right of it.
Try a charge beam for me.
A trigger below that is very awkward to hit because you would be tapping it with the underside of your ring finger while holding it, like
Try a charge beam for me.
like an unfamiliar version of a trigger that you kind of push sideways. I don't think they're going to use that in gameplay much. Your start and select buttons are vertically situated instead of horizontally, but they're still there in the form of plus and minus and a 1 and a 2 button, hanging onto the big fat knob-like end of the controller. So this was always the intent with the Wiimote, that it could work this way. Very few games use it this way because it's not ergonomic. It's thicker on one side than the other because it's meant to be gripped like a gun with a trigger. And the game will have you use it that way. You're going to be switching back and forth, much to my surprise. More charge beams.
Try a charge beam for me.
It takes a significant amount of time to charge that up.
Sharp-looking charge beam, just the way I like it. Okay, morph ball next.
The delivery. Just the way I like it. So, the A button is to the right of the D-pad. That's okay. Yeah, that can't go without comment.
Come on, this should be easy.
Looking forward to him repeating that hurriedly. So, how do we phrase this as like productively or proactively, and not reductively? Like, for let's put it this way. For a series that practically invented
Come on, this should be easy.
the abilities. Yeah, that's what I have to say to you, game. This should be easy. It has a very weird leering energy.
Come on, this should be easy.
Just, I guess it's outside the confines of the yes, I can drop bombs.
Okay, get out of morph ball mode and return to normal.
Man.
Perfect, Samus. Alright, stand in the middle of the room.
So it's absolutely baffling, is what that note is about right there. It's absolutely baffling that you can't use the Wiimote and the nunchuck. The nunchuck not only has an analog stick for smoother movement than this... oh, wow, I'm in tank mode somehow now. Because I'm supposed to walk into this... Yes. Not only does the nunchuck have...
From there, kick climb to work your way up.
Not only does the nunchuck have an analog stick to make the process of moving feel smoother than this, there's a bunch of interpolation being placed on Samus's movement right now to make it...
Stop wasting time, will ya?
Wow. We do what we want. You get to hold against the wall to do the...
Just like that, Samus.
Uh-huh.
Let's invite some of your pals.
Oh. Oh, no. So, because your controls are up, down, left, right, shoot, jump, it is having to do a lot of interpolation here on both your movement and your aiming.
Okay, looking good.
That is an absolutely crazy but necessary amount of auto aim.
Here come some beams. Dodge them.
Oh dear.
Okay, those are the moves I remember.
So, this is the kind of thing that would normally be...
Nice. How about a missile test?
That's the kind of thing...
Use concentration to replenish your missile supply.
That's the kind of thing that would absolutely be on a, just controls-wise.
You haven't forgotten, have you?
Sure.
Use concentration to replenish your missile
She's
supply.
the universe's greatest bounty hunter, and she's, you know, arguably forgotten how to use her own suit that is, like, tuned only to her biology. I'm pretty sure no one else can wear her Chozo suit.
Use concentration to
It's one of the
replenish your
reasons
missile
why she's so
supply.
powerful in this setting. And one of the things that kind of makes her the chosen one. It's just bizarre to me that you'd have, like, a tutorial sequence where people are talking to the chosen one like they're just, I don't know, some random...
Use concentration to replenish your missile supply.
It's all to, so they want you to put your gun up and hold A.
One of your pesky buddies is lurking here somewhere. Find him for me, huh?
And this is where they're going to introduce first-person shenanigans. Let me just make a note. It's going to be a somewhat front-loaded here because of all of the just weird controls decisions.
Somewhere. Find him for me, huh?
So, yeah, why the nunchuck was used here is kind of baffling. It feels like an unnecessary gimmick.
One of your pesky buddies is lurking here somewhere.
You gotta hold...
Find him for me, huh?
You gotta point the Wiimote at the sensor, at the TV, at the sensor bar to do this first-person stuff. What's absolutely mind-boggling is that if you were using a nunchuck in one hand...
One of your pesky buddies is lurking here somewhere.
And a Wiimote in the other, like this, your Wiimote would already be pointed at the screen. Which means you would need a button or a control to sort of go into first person, whereas right now the act of turning the controller up is what prepares you to reload.
One of your pesky buddies is lurking here somewhere.
Turning the controller towards the TV. I see where they're coming from. It's an interesting idea that it's like the controller could be used like 2.5 different ways, and you could just dynamically switch between them. But completely reseating the controller in your hands, like transferring it from both hands to one hand and pointing it at the TV, is not a quick process, right? So there's a huge design limitation there. Gameplay cannot demand that you, and I guess we'll find out, right? I guess that's what we're going to find out is, like, are they going to ambush you in ways that say, like, oh, you're not switching back and forth between sideways and pointing at the screen fast enough, dog? I doubt it, right? I think that they're going to have to make sequences very slowly transition between those two different control modes because of how unintuitive it is to switch. Although I guess if you practice this, you probably get pretty good at it.
One of your pesky buddies is lurking here somewhere.
Flipping back and forth. What was the note that I wanted though?
One of your pesky buddies is lurking here somewhere.
It's fine. It'd be a notes overload, but that's the point basically. Is that it's very gimmicky and not very convenient. It would be much more convenient to be holding a nunchuck and using the two additional buttons that nunchuck affords you to do.
One of your pesky buddies is lurking here
anything.
somewhere.
This will reload, switch between first person and third person, and your controller would already be pointed at the screen, so you'd already be kind of prepared to do this look around nonsense.
Why not say hello with a missile?
I take this to mean that you...
Looks like you ticked him off. The rest is all you.
You can go to first person while fighting. So I guess I'll try charge-shotting him, and then...
Looks like he's had enough of your missiles. Okay, looking good.
What a
now,
weird...
jump on its head.
Now jump on its head is a very strange directive to get, but that's clearly how they've...
Samus, now's your chance.
I don't think I did
Quick,
the
finish
strong
it.
attack thing correctly there. Context-sensitive
How
sort of
about you try
executes.
using a power bomb?
Makes sense.
This area is well
kind of.
fortified, so don't hold back.
And this is where they're setting up a power bomb. Okay. Gosh, what even would the note be about that?
What are you doing? Unleash that thing.
The gross level of just
What are you doing? Unleash that thing.
yeah, Samus is the badass chosen one, and it's like just people being short with you is just not a good look. It just does not feel right. There aren't enough buttons for a dodge. So you have to stop
What are you doing?
moving and
Unleash that thing.
repress D-pad with timing? It's just super weird. It's super duper weird.
What are you doing? Unleash that thing.
We'll see if I get used to it. Go into a morph ball. Charge up the bomb. Okay.
Allow adequate room around you during power bomb. All right, Samus. That's it for the test.
A test. Of all
Looks
things.
like you took quite a bit of damage. It's unbelievable how well you've held up.
I wondered if this too was a result of the power the baby gave me.
It healed you.
Right. You're due in the meeting room. The big dogs are waiting.
People ordering you
Suit
around.
of polish, so you'd be at least somewhat presentable.
Samus is the big dog. She's the big dog. Wow.
Not even a fragment.
It just creepy.
None of the baby remained on me.
Creepy Gendo glasses.
I knew it to be true, but still couldn't help looking at my palm for a sign.
What?
Never again would I encounter the baby. Never. The finality of it struck me once again. Mission completed. The planet Xeneth was annihilated, and all Metroids were exterminated. A simple report, almost dull even, but it felt momentous to me. I don't know how much time passed since then. Days went by in their quiet way, and people's recollections of Metroids and space pirates grew nebulous over time, relegated to a past concern of the galactic communities. Nothing more than a faded memory.
This is not an era of...
Codename Baby's Cry. A common SOS with the urgency of a baby crying. The nickname comes from the fact that the purpose of the signal is to draw attention. The signal was coming from a remote part of space. I altered the course of my ship as if this detour had already been part of my flight plan. Baby's Cry.
Here it is again.
It was as though it was crying specifically for me.
Is this destroyed space station perchance where she's originally from? That's my prediction. Just seeing it and like the weird fog and like that early cutscene where they're like showing explosions and symbolically displaying Samus as like a fetal form with energy being saved by, I don't know, whatever it is, or magic. I don't have the notes up because of the cutscene, but codename Baby's Cry is supposed to be subtle symbolism. It's being wielded like a sledgehammer. And it's going to demand investigation. Oh, extremely limited investigation. No third-person mode. First-person investigation only. Okay. I can bring up the notes. Mother symbolism, because Samus is a girl that killed Mother Brain? I guess. No, it's supposed to be like Baby's Cry. I shouldn't spend the time to come up with a better term. There is a way. Is that what the Galactic Space Federation calls it? Like, is that the sci-fi concept? The Baby's Cry is a type of distress signal in deep space. It makes sense that in deep space you would need distress signals. All kinds of things can go wrong. You can run out of air. You might need people to come and bring you air and water. It's space. Baby's Cry. But it's so backwards, right? It's like, this is called Baby's Cry to reference the events of Samus's life, not this is called Baby's Cry because that's what space marines and pirates would call it. It's just like capital S symbolism. And she's responding to the Baby's Cry because she was like the Metroid surrogate mother, and get it? Babies and mothering because Samus is a girl, and it's just very... There's something very, like, just incredibly high school levels of writing symbolism going on. I was very dismayed to learn, when I did a little bit of research before diving into this, I was under the impression I was blaming Tecmo and Team Ninja for all of this nonsense, but no, the writing is actually the responsibility of our dear Metroid head, which actually the Galactic Federation symbol is what we're intended to be scoping here.
Galactic Federation? Huh?
So, turning it sideways, they will just let you run around. There is yeah, it feels super weird to be in this 3D environment and have such a small D-pad. That's the thing, too. The D-pad on the Wiimote is tiny. Because it's the primary use of it is you sort of reach up with your thumb and just tap up or down. It was like most games used it as a menuing thing. Like reach up and hit this to gain access to one of 4 different menus, or to make use of one of 4 different consumable slots, or something infrequently pressed. The thing is, it's literally just too small, or it's child sized. It's a normal sized D-pad. And maybe I can, the D-pad on the Wii U, it's running on the Wii U in Wii compatibility mode. The D-pad on the Wii U controller is a normal adult-sized D-pad. So it's significantly smaller. It's a like a Game Boy Advance sized D-pad. So doing all of your movement with this thing, we'll see. We'll see if it just digs into my thumb or whatever. But it's kind of, yeah, it's just really confusing. You could have had a nunchuck and a Wiimote setup, and it would feel superior to this setup in almost every way. I guess to make it... Yeah, that's cool. So the scanning vibes are cool. And the UI... the UI is cool. We can make a positive note there. Lots of cool scanning UI and reactive detail on reticles. That is actually, so that crosshair, its rotation matches the rotation of the Wiimote, right? It rotates as the thing rotates, and subtle, but there's two little arrows on the outside edges of the UI that actually also reflect the rotation, such that when you just sort of like move the controller around in space, you get all this cool Minority Report, like blinky, arrowy realignment stuff. The four pieces of the crosshair split apart and come back together with movement, like an accuracy bloom thing in a shooter, even though I'm sure it doesn't affect your accuracy. It's just a cool. So like props to whoever's doing like the UI design in this, because this looks badass. Like all this I'm scanning my environment, like rotating through potential things it could be and alighting on the type of power-up that it is. There's some good stuff to the UI design of this, for sure. That minimap is kind of obtrusive, but I'm sure it'll come in handy. Gaining just an awareness of what this space looks like from like a map standpoint. Whoa. All right, and we're coming up on as far as I got with my...
Fancy meeting you here, princess.
Everybody's got a...
Remember me?
Anthony. There's only one person who calls me princess.
Why I haven't
and
killed
that person
him yet
is
is
Anthony
anybody's
Higgs
business.
of the Galactic
It's
Federation
anybody's
Army.
guess.
Haven't seen you since that last mission. Hey, and your buddy's here too.
Adam Malkovich, a general in the Galactic Federation Army.
Him.
Not
I've
only
played
a
Metroid
trusted
Fusion,
confidant,
so
but
I
also
know.
my former superior officer.
I know
Yes,
that Adam Malkovich
there was a time when I was enrolled in the Galactic Federation Army.
is like...
And then I was young and inexperienced. As the result of a certain incident, I left Adam's command and set out on my path as a solitary bounty hunter.
Right, the implication being that this was her love interest, but like the military, I could never express my feelings for him.
The first words out of his mouth were typical coming from Adam. To answer his question, I recounted the details of what had brought me to this place, and then I asked what circumstances led the Federation here.
So stiff.
That information is not for an outsider.
The word he so obviously chose, outsider, pierced my heart.
Yeah, the implication is, man, I'm in love with this dude. He's just the perfect soldier.
Commander, we're all prepped.
I'm so upset that he just doesn't approve of my bounty hunting or whatever. She's the hero. saved the universe like 3 times.
No dice.
Why would everybody be acting
I
like
think our
she
only
sucks?
option is to use the laser to slowly burn our way through. This is gonna take a while.
The electrical system here is out, and we can't get the barrier wall to open. We tried using explosives, but it's tricky to pull off without collateral damage.
There's no...
What we need is some way to focus the power onto one centralized location.
Is that like a hint? Samus? We need Samus. This game comes from an era of localization where, yeah, getting really good voice acting in your game was not easy. It's still not easy. It's still super hard, and only so many games even remotely manage it. I've gotten condensation ice water on my controller. Yeah, having the guy call you princess, it feels like real bad. It feels condescending, and I don't know, just complete mismatch with who Samus is or should be as a character. Everybody should be intimidated by her. Everybody should respect her. Everybody should be intimidated by her. That intimidation could lead to negative interactions, but this isn't even framed as a negative interaction, right? It's just like, this is the friendly banter. This is the friendly sexist banter that we've saddled Samus with this time around. I don't know. Man. Yeah, you know, I was avoiding this for a reason. The writing is real weird. Oh, am I scanning Adam? Be still my heart. Why is dude cracking up?
Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna go on ahead.
Yeah. It's played like this is supposed to be your buddy. Like, he calls you princess because he's your buddy. He's the one who likes you.
Adam hadn't authorized it, but I decided to remain on site for the sake of the others.
Man. How much work would it take? Like, just raw writing work. How much work would it take to frame princess as a positive term of endearment? It would take so much work for that to feel appropriate to the character, right? Like, you'd have to have like a whole... You'd have to do like a whole crazy flashback. You'd have to call her princess while lending her a hand or something. There would have to be some like past clue that gives you the feeling of like, you know, normally when a man in a military operation calls his coworker princess, it'd be considered an insult. But he uses it as a term of endearment, and you know it's a term of endearment because character evidence that he does in fact care about her. This is a door that I can't open yet. I'm just getting used to the feel. It does feel kind of weird, but I can tell, you can feel and tell that a legitimately crazy amount of work went into making this bare bones, like, four-way directional movement feel smooth and 3D. There's all kinds of smoothing and interpolation going on here. It looks like I'm running in a circle, right? But I am transitioning from right to down, right to down. You know, I'm moving in jagged four-directional, and on the minimap you can see that that is jagged four-directional movement, but the animation makes it smooth. You know, she gets all the correct turning frames. It's quick enough to feel responsive, and it's animated enough and slow enough to feel smooth. So it's just like, yeah, right off the bat, like, that took a lot. Just the demand, the requirement, like, yeah, you're only going to have a D-pad to move around. Running through corridors. for what it's worth. They're very Metroid corridors. What? Hi. Am I just supposed to spam? I am just supposed to spam and rely on auto aim here. Wow. What? Oh, I missed that. I missed that, did I? Holy cow. Adam has not authorized the use of bombs, missiles. I could just leave. The comment can just be holy cow. I guess. Normal bomb. Only Adam has not yet authorized the use of bombs. I forgot to include the word yet, I guess. Yet. That's an important word. That's a load-bearing word. The word yet implies that he will at some point, but holy cow, why? This guy is not your commanding officer anymore. This guy's not your commanding officer anymore. Why on earth? This is just to get into here. This is a broken elevator? Is that what this is? It's like we've learned nothing. It's like we've learned nothing. It's like the literal some of, maybe not all, it's like some of the people who made Super Metroid have no understanding of what makes Super Metroid awesome and what makes it work. Like, the whole in medias res... Sure, there's like a minute of text scroll, right? But like, I'm pretty sure it just drops you onto a space station and you just like... just gives you a chance to get used to the controls in context, right? Like, you're on a mission that is deliberately set to be low key. Oh, I took damage there. Wow. And they just give you a chance to like mess around before things get hot. And then when things do get hot, they get hot in that sort of very scripted way where you're intended to kind of lose the fight to Ridley and lose the baby Metroid before having to escape the space station. I don't have time to go back and play Super. Part of me is gonna want to. I should replay Metroid Fusion because it's the game that takes place narratively right before. I should replay Fusion. I have probably played Super Metroid too many times for it to make sense for me to replay that. Can you just... It's not the maybe the most efficient way to take them out, but you can. Okay. Kinda getting my butt handed to me. Little bugaboos. Those look like the little bugs that were crawling around on the corpse early on in Super Metroid. Those felt like a reference to me. So, Metroid games are one of the chief early offenders, early implementers of the abilities. The way that early Metroid games would explain why Samus has to go around and collect all of her crap again every game is they would take a moment to depower her. Right? Like, Metroid Prime 2 definitely has like a narrative sequence towards the beginning that like you have all of your cool weapons and missiles and things, and then like a thing happens to you, and your suit gets like damaged and depowered, and you have to like build it slowly back up over time. That's a good narrative excuse for not having a thing. You're very, very like you're very, very embarrassed. You're very dere about your ex-commanding officer and just really care a lot about what he thinks of you is a pretty weird reason why I better not use my missiles. Because he gave me a disapproving look. He like really didn't approve when I used a missile to open a door. He was complaining about how long the door was going to take to open. So when I blasted it open with a missile, he was like, Sam, I didn't authorize the use of missiles. I just really respect him so much. I gotta respect his wishes. Wow. Hold on. Wait. Hang on. I just found the ladies' room. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but you can't get into the men's room. You can't get into the men's room because you're not a man. Oh my god. Oh dude. Oh dude. It feels like we're in Gender Studies 101, the plot. Like we've got all these references to babies crying and mothers and children, and now we have the women's restroom and it's filled with little purple beetles, I guess. That's a classy futuristic chair there. I am really digging these futuristic 60s chairs that look like super uncomfortable. In any other game, this would be the setup for like a jump scare moment, right? Like you approach the ladies' room stalls. It's weird that you can't like. It's weird that you can't do anything or shoot when you're in this like exploro. I guess we're in adventure game mode right now, where for like navigating an environment and investigating things, not for shooting things or fighting. The controls feel super stiff, and the movement is like you're in like mega tank controls mode right now. It's weird that there's nothing there. It's super weird that there's nothing in the ladies' room. Like why can I enter the ladies' room? What is the reason for why do I need to be able to investigate that if there's no corpse? There's no corpse jump scare, anything in there. What is happening right now? Holy... Why can you get into the ladies' room? What? They tutorialized this. Like, if we were gonna dynamically tutorialize your moves on site, why did we go through that boring, like somewhat demeaning test chamber where it was like, we're not gonna let you out of this room until you prove that you can do these moves, lady. And then we're gonna also tutorialize them again because we're just really scared. This reads to me as being like this like double buffered tutorialization. Feels like in playtests, people did not know how to triangle jump and could not figure it out. Oh my god. This super awkward thing is happening where it's like... So, you hold down the one button. You hold down the one button to charge up your beam. Now, if you wanted to maintain that charge into first-person mode, you would find yourself with your thumb trapped at the base of the controller and needing to use your second hand to now... There's an E-tank up there. Okay, you can let go of it from there. Wow. hopefully that's machinery pounding and not a being. Is this computer something that I can scanificate? It kind of is. I can target it, but it doesn't do anything. Yeah. The early exploration vibes require that the entire team of side characters just not be around. Like, we can't have 9 dudes in power suits. Like, you know, imagine how much less creepy this would be, and how much less atmospheric this would be. Like, I'm in this ruined environment. There's, like, evidence of things breaking and having gone wrong, interesting places to traverse and explore, power-ups that I can't get yet that I want to get, locked doors that I want to open and can't open, respawning enemies. Actually a pretty standard Metroid thing, honestly, respawning enemies, but mysterious, stompy, metallic noises, presaging anything from, like, giant mechanized bosses to, like, pounding machinery that needs to be traversed carefully. Tempted to just try to jump off the edge of this and find out what's down there, but no, I need to... Not gonna let me. Yeah, you know. They're called Metroidvanias because Metroid. So, having a Metroid game with, you know, having that exploration focus that Metroidvanias need to have, and then, like, I don't know, just big, giant, chunky, invisible walls. Surround this corridor with glass, if you have to, right? Like, extend these walkways up into, like, if this is a cage that I'm running down, and this is somehow, like, glassed off such that I can see that there's a ladder and a floor down there that I can't get to. It doesn't take much, right? But no, you just can't. It's just not time for you to go down there because the level designer doesn't want you to go down there. It's like it's just, that's not a great reason for it. Imagine how much less creepy, like, exploring this abandoned, ruined space station with mysterious thumping noises, and there's 2 of those suited dudes standing next to this console, and you walk up to them and one of them is like, I can't get this console to work, and the other one's like, stay frosty, or whatever. You know, if you were just constantly encountering this NPC team, you'd be like, oh, well, this environment's not scary, right? Like, this isn't a moody, atmospheric. So it's like, it's so weird. It's like the level designers understand what Metroid is, and the scenario and script writers just don't. Because they've saddled you with this, like, team of yabos. No offense. No offense to Rowdy Yabo. They saddled you with this team of inconsequential characters. And they can make them consequential. I'm not saying they can't. They could use the writing to... I'm just going to dispatch these guys in the most awkward way possible by, like... I'm flipping it. I'm charging it and flipping it. I'm charging and flipping. The plot is free to make those Space Federation boys as important as it can later, I suppose, right? Like, I'm sure they will have things to say and roles to play. But in service, like, from this point, thus far, in service to this part of the game, why is there a team of, like, 9 dudes? I didn't count the dudes. Isn't there a menu for that? Yeah, let's take a look at the menu. I poked at this briefly in sort of like a test sense. Yeah, there's a characters menu. Adam Malkovich. The man. He's the man. Samus is superior for her days in the Galactic Federation. Investigating the bottle ship's distress signal. Where's the note? Where's the note about babies cry? What is it? It's not. I guess it's not a space station. The facility emitting the baby's cry. Bottle ship. Get it? Get it? Baby? Bottle? It's the bottle ship. Oh, symbolism. Yeah. Yeah, it's got that symbolism. Identity unknown. Right. The vast majority of these characters matter so little. Well, okay. We're going to learn their identities later, I presume is what that means. Colleague of Samus's from her days in the Galactic Federation, investigating the bottle ship under Adam's command. Bottle ship. Also, bottle ship is like... Bottle ship has that all caps corporate like font registry energy. Or it's like the style guide. The style guide for bottle ship insists that bottle ship always be spelled in all caps because it's the bottle ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dudes. Is it all dudes? That seems like it's probably a dude. Man, they don't even have this squad of 6 characters. 6 characters that need to be off camera for atmosphere reasons. Other M can't have an obligatory other F. We just can't do it. Can't have it. It seems like you have extra care. I mean, okay, Adam's Adam. Anthony's Anthony. And we've got 4 other characters to work with, and none of them can be ladies. The threat of Metroids and space pirates had seemingly disappeared from galactic society. Samus receives a distress call known as a baby's cry. Why is it known as that? Bottle ship, which must be all caps. These are the characters. She decides to stay, even though Adam disapproves of her presence, because there wouldn't be a video game if she decided to leave at that point. Yeah, right. I'm a bad girl. I'm not allowed to use bombs yet. Just take them away. Just take the bombs away. Just take the bombs away. Disable them. Make up a BS nonsense reason why the bombs are disabled. I don't want to upset my ex-boyfriend is not a good reason. It's not even your ex-boyfriend. It's not, you don't even have any... There isn't even like a really good... There isn't even a really solid justification for... There's a window, right? Yeah. There isn't even really solid emotional justification for her to be so like emotionally confused. Navigation. Booth is an odd... Booth is an odd translation for the word chamber. I'm guessing that in Japanese, that's probably navigation station, navigation outlet, navigation chamber, something like that. Navigation booth. I am doing all kinds of things. Man who is built different. I'm playing a very old Metroid game and attempting to analyze it at the same time to figure out both why I didn't play it originally and also what I'm gonna do about my whole video game problem. Metroid is up there for me, right? Metroid and Zelda, these are the things that my childhood is built out of and based off of, and since my relationship to video games is changing and becoming complicated, kind of trying to wrap my head around why. Or figure out what it is that I love so much about video games, given that they're kind of the only thing that I've cared about for a long time. Oh, hey, it's the squad. Dilly-dally, also, I suppose, is what the... Gross. That
He's
eye...
dead. Someone or something attacked him.
This is the reveal that should have been in the ladies' room.
Get away from me!
It was obvious that there was some
Someone watched
pervasive
Predator.
danger throughout the facility. I didn't know what had brought Adam here, but I did know that cooperation was imperative if we were to restore safety. Adam, listen to me. Clearly, this facility is in complete disorder. It might be too dangerous for your men to go alone. That's why I've...
Look at that.
They're coming out of the wall!
Right, stay calm.
Out of the walls! Predator and Alien vibes. Like that. But like... Oh, it's boss. Okay. That's where the eye was. I was like, that eye is not on that corpse, is it? Eye. Oh, I'm surprised that they're actually like here. Also getting beat up by this thing. So I keep hoping that the auto aim is going to target the eye, and it's not. So I guess not. Interesting. It slows. Am I now like locked into this mode and doomed to die?
This ain't good! Nothing's working!
I feel like
Listen
I
up.
just tried to
Freeze guns
tutorialize something
authorized.
that I massively didn't get. It would not let me go back into third-person mode there. Probably because it wanted to play this
missile
cutscene.
use.
That was really strange. Oh, is it happening? Is it happening, boss? Am I being authorized? Am I being authorized to use missiles? I have a heal. Alright, after your next little slap combo, I'll go ahead and... the eyeball.
Concentrate fire in a single location and freeze that thing!
Oh, they're
And
using ice.
You attack the frozen spot!
I am using my missiles. What the? What the? Just jumped on it? That doesn't seem wise. Ow. And okay, yes. Switching back and forth between holding it this way and holding it this way is 100% a gimmick. Confirmed. Confirmed in boss fight. Does not feel smooth. Thanks, boss. Samus really needs, like, a man to tell her when to use her missiles. The takeaway. Can I do the thing where I jump on its head? It's probably for humanoid enemies.
Samus,
Redemption?
looks like I'm gonna need to ask for your cooperation on this mission. But
Okay.
I'm also gonna have to ask that you follow my commands. You don't move unless I say so, and you don't fire until I say so. objections, lady?
Lady!
The thumbs up sign had been used by the Galactic Federation for ages. Me? I
Damn
was
is
known for
right.
giving the thumbs down during briefing.
Wow.
I had my reasons, though. Commander Adam Malkovich was normally cool and not one to joke around, but he would end all of his mission briefings by saying, "Any objections, lady?" He was joking, but others
Was he?
weren't. At the time, I felt surrounded by people who treated me like a child, or used kid gloves because I was a woman.
Well, yeah.
And yet with Adam, I was grateful for the nod. My past has left me with an uneasy soul, and as a result, it touched me on some level that Adam would acknowledge that past by calling me something delicate, like lady. And I knew more than anyone that every word from Adam was deliberate. My thumbs down was a twofold response. A sign of derision at being called a lady, and a signal of my complete understanding of the mission orders. The other soldiers were always willing to support me with easy
So it's not
smiles
emotionally
despite the
land at
fact
all.
that I clearly had so much yet to learn. Among them was Anthony. In the face of his well-meaning behavior and that of the other soldiers, my response was to become increasingly bitter. I was a child. Always
No,
with something
you were
to
right.
prove. A chip on my shoulder.
A justifiable and
And I was
reasonable
angry.
chip.
I felt that if I let my guard down, I would easily be broken. And beyond that, I was scared.
Well, she's supposed to be a tough lady, so it makes
Even
sense
in
that
the
she'd be
naivete
like,
of my youth,
you know what, screw this, I'm leaving the
I
military.
could see in Adam's joking manner how close he felt to me.
But why does she feel bad about it?
Adam knows my past, and he knows me better than anyone else.
Does he?
Confession time.
Okay.
Because I was so young when I lost both of my parents, there's no question I saw Adam as a father figure.
Oh, that makes the crush problematic, doesn't it?
When I rebelled against him, I knew I could get away with it. And his paternal compassion in the face of my rebellion reinforced the special bond I felt with him.
Okay.
I understood well that chances were slim that I would ever find anyone that understood me like Adam. And yet, when the time came, I still left his side.
Yeah, it's
I was so young. Young and
erotically
naive.
confused. Wow, that's...
Exactly what transpired here on the bottle ship is still uncertain.
incredibly mixed messages.
Here's what we do know. The equipment we thought had been destroyed is operational again. And we've seen casualties attributed to an unidentified and lethal creature. The situation is critical. We need to gather all the information we can, but priority one is to find any survivors and bring them to safety. Consider this site extremely dangerous. Be careful as you make your sweeps. And there's one problem. The wireless interference in this facility is all-pervasive. Your comm systems are useless. As a result, communication channels will be limited to the facility's navigation booths. Well then, Lyle. Investigate Sector 1.
We know who Lyle
Solo
is now.
restraint with the explosives. Gotcha. Maurice, you
We
cover
know who
Sector 2.
Maurice is now.
Repair any equipment you come across.
Affirmative.
Anthony, you're Sector 3.
Why does a Metroid
To you to
game
decide
need
whether
this many
plasma guns
characters?
are called for.
All right.
James,
Holy
check out
shit,
the control
so
bridge. Our communication issues might be the result of electrical interference.
6, we already counted. There's 6.
And KG, run a complete sweep of the residential quarters and investigate any trace of survivors.
Got it.
Each of
KG
you
could
is
be a token
authorized to
woman.
use a freeze
KG
gun.
could be a token second woman.
Do
It would
not
be
forget
easy.
to check in regularly via navigation booths.
KG could be Megane girl,
And
glasses
Samus,
girl, squad
you go
meets
to the
glasses
system
girl.
management room. Do everything you can to get the electrical system back up and
Embarrassing
running.
sausage fest of a squad. Okay.
Looks like your comm system is still functional. Remember, everything you see will also appear on this screen. Regarding auxiliary weapons, the use of bombs has been authorized. As
Oh,
far as
thank
their
you.
other weapons go, we will continue to investigate and authorize use as we can.
Thank you for
However,
authorizing.
we currently have no plans to authorize the use of power bombs. As you know, they have the ability to spread a high-temperature heat wave over a large area, impacting living things, which is a nice way of saying they can vaporize humans instantly. You should be well aware of how dangerous power bombs are, and how their devastation can't be obstructed with common materials.
Once the mission in the system management room is complete, I need you to report back. I'll give you your next orders then.
I want you all to be especially careful as you execute your missions.
They have him.
That's the end of the briefing.
Right.
It was the first joint mission I'd been a part of since becoming a freelance bounty hunter. And of course, it was the first time since my Federation days that I was following the orders of a commanding officer.
Even though it's confusing.
Having
Why?
received mission
but
orders from
sure.
Adam, I felt confused and strangely exhilarated at the unexpected
You felt
turn of
confused.
events. I responded. Understood, Adam. No objections, of course.
Oh, of course. So what is the closest I'm going to be able to get in a small note would be Adam's entire attitude is completely unearned. Like, lady is a terrible term of endearment. I should probably at least attempt to come up with something better. And the entire relationship with him reads like it's too conflicted and complicated to be real or explained. Like the whole deal, just the whole deal with Adam is like, reads like a writer trying to explain just how conflicted Samus is. And it's like, well, the conflictedness comes across, yes. But it doesn't come across in any sort of relatable way whatsoever. It's just confusing. And I mean, I guess that's accurate. Yeah, there's clearly.
Samus, head for the system management room.
Is that a thing that I know where it is? Presumably that's where the blinking beacon is. Check. Well, you'll forgive me for, like, searching the environment for things before I do that. Also, red doors and missiles.
You need to get to the system management room.
Oh my god, that naggy tone persists beyond. Yeah, you can't fire missiles on anything except lock on targets. Blue dots show the location of items. Hi, enemies. There is a missile underneath the floor. Oh, you can jump while in ball form. You don't need to use bombs to, well, bombs can also make you jump. It is not terribly well earned, because Adam, the father figure, missile tank, missile capacity by 1. Well, okay. 1 missile means a lot more under this system than the usual, like, 5, I assume, given because you can just do this. I'm not missing anything, so I can't do it. You can, like... So... It's not advisable. Let's just call that... It's too complicated to be real or explained. And also just not a great idea for your primary emotive conflict to boil down to I have a crush on my father figure. I mean, yeah, I don't want to be, it's not like, I don't want to be gatekeepy. I'm not saying confusing parental feelings for romantic feelings is a thing that should never be written about by anybody. No, I think you can write about such a thing. It's just very weird. It's very weird for a Metroid game, and a very bad fit for this particular character, given that Samus is one of the OG, like, icons for should be one of the OG icons in gaming for a strong female character, and it really takes her down a peg to have her just be that visibly confused and shattered by, like, that's weird. The way that you can hang from things is like, how do I break that down? So, like, if you catch onto the edge of something, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's super awkward. It's super awkward, and it's hard to, like, it's hard to deliberately, and it just comes down to just not having enough buttons, right? It's literally up, down, left, right, jump. Shoot can't help you. Although now I actually want to know whether you can shoot while you're hanging from a ledge. So let's try and grab onto something. I just can't grab onto anything. I'm terrible. You can shoot. You can shoot while hanging, which is cool. Your feet are doing something that is funny. There's no wall there, but is this the kind of situation where the first person is kind of useful? Whoa, that guy just self-destructed. So I should be able to get this now, right? Now that bombs are authorized. Nice. This is the room that I was ordered to get to. Yeah. They don't have any choice but to make the auto aim I'm not aiming Samus on down at all. Standing still and just tapping one. Just doing all the work. Don't know that there was any other way to do it. Because you just don't. You have one D-pad to move around, and you have no other. It truly boggles the mind because of how incredibly easy. And I can reload missiles like this. That's easy. So I played Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, like on release. So it has been quite a while, and I do intend to replay Fusion before Dread comes out. Just because of how much Metroid means to me, but that's actually kind of what this is all part of. Finally getting around to playing Other M, replaying Fusion, hopefully before Dread actually releases, is the goal. And then I'm not going to have time to replay Super Metroid, but also Super Metroid is the Metroid game that I and most other Metroid fans have played the most. It would be far more interesting to replay the Prime series, actually, but replaying the Prime series on Wii when they are so... There have been reports that a remaster of all three Prime games is, like, practically ready to release on Switch. Like, they haven't officially announced it yet. It does not have a release date yet, but the primary engineering and art, like, work has been done on that. So, you know, if I'm gonna replay Prime, I'm gonna do it on the Switch, not on the Wii. So she does talk about Adam in Fusion, and my memories of Fusion might be foggy, but Adam was a character that was referred to, so you kind of only had Samus's word to go on. The reason why this reads so much worse to me than all of the Adam talk in, not that I'm excusing the Adam talk in Fusion. I think the Adam AI is a very weird story detail for Fusion, but it read as being like, here's one interpretation of the Adam stuff in Fusion. so it's an AI that is supposedly based on Adam, like a military AI. And the way that Samus feels about this AI showing up, she feels like very conflicted. I mean, this is like a man who is no longer in her life, or is dead, you don't know. But like the man himself not being present and the AI just being this stiff, weird thing that makes references to Samus's past, you can kind of elide it as being like, well, so this doesn't seem particularly well fleshed out, but like there's a reason for that. It's an AI, and she's like, who knows whether her memories of the man are like relevant in comparison to what this AI is saying. Who knows what was Adam really like is a unanswered question in Fusion. And the inaccuracy is like, I think it's actually really important. I am shooting at enemies that are off camera, so that's not ideal, but earlier I jumped on your head. You want me to use missiles on you? Because I can. Or not. Reload. Reload. What is that little... Oh, it's me trying to turn into a ball because it's not recognizing. A blue dot will appear once all the enemy... Oh, okay, we're in tutorial mode. We're in tutorial mode, not play mode, so I'm not going to be allowed to re-up my health, apparently. They are tutorializing... Of all things, they're tutorializing exploration. Feels very strange. I've always felt like it's enough to... Like, the player's natural desire to explore... Now can I recharge? Am I not low enough to recharge? Having Adam actually, like, stand in front of you and give you these orders is very different than the Adam AI being like, oh, well, I kind of feel weird about this AI. Like, yeah, that's understandable, Samus. I would also feel weird about the AI that resembles your ex-commanding officer, but it's now obvious that she feels just as weird about the man, and then, like, the man himself is like, what are you doing? Holy cow. I wish a lot of things, actually, for his portrayal in this. I wish that he was older. Like, I wish that he looked less like just a random, just attractive guy. Like, for a father figure, it would be like, I don't know. Then again, that would make the whole, like, pseudo-romance angle even weirder, so... Reload missiles, but not health. I guess the health thing is, like, when you're low. If you can find a moment, you can, So that was a scripted interruption sequence. Like, I'm supposed to go back for more orders, but the thing collapsed on the way. Also, it's weird that this space station is filled with, I mean, it's basically filled with life forms from Zebes, right? It's not a space station. It's a bottle ship. And bottle ship must always be all caps. It's weird this random bottle ship is filled with Zebes life forms, and then of course my guess would be there's gotta be a lab here with Metroids, etc. To explain that. There's gotta be, just because there does, but yeah, I don't even have, that's the tricky thing, is I don't even have any advice. If someone approached me and was like, this is the thing that I need and want to do with Samus's character. I need and want her to be really conflicted about having a crush on her father figure. Like, how do I make that work? It's just, I don't even know what I would tell him. I guess just that it's like, that's a weird thing to want to do with Samus. Like, I would make up a new character to have that arc or something, I guess, because saddling her with it is just like, oof. Here we go. This is the situation. Yeah, I'd be like, don't do that. This bad. This is bad. It was a bad idea. Or pick. You could just decide, like, having a crush on your commanding officer. That can be a thing. The military absolutely frowns on that kind of fraternization, so that could be a conflict. You don't need the parental thing. You don't, like, that's not really necessary. There's plenty explanation for why you would feel strange about it. Just based, it's like, well, he was my commanding officer. I wasn't supposed to have a crush on him, but I did. Past tense. Yeah, right. The past tense on everything is also kind of hard to work with, I feel like. The past tense on all of this makes it, sort of deflates it, I guess. Or maybe that's not the best way of putting it. Whoa, I was like wasting it. Actually, you can't waste missiles, right? Because you can just be like, Booyakasha missiles. It's easy. You can't waste missiles. You should use missiles all the time. This isn't who, like, narratively, this isn't where Samus is at.
Go through the hatch on your right and head towards Sector 1. Lyle went ahead to secure a route to a facility of interest. I'll leave you to survey.
It's gonna take me a while, man, to learn the names of all your cronies that I'm supposed to care about. So, structurally, this is also... actually, you know what?
What's wrong? Head to Sector 1.
Wow. What's the timer, Adam? Can I first person here? Where are you? Where are you? You're up on some command thingy. You're
What's
up there?
wrong? Head to Sector 1.
Cool it on the bark timer. But, I would like to know. I would like to know whether or not they will let me collect. Oh, that's kind of a nice shot. It's kind of cool to be able to see the space outside the tube there. So, map-wise, structurally, pretty linear, right? This isn't your normal Metroidvania setup in terms of, like, you've been set with a mission. The environment is being destroyed and constrained to make it so that all you can do is go do that mission, which, you know, that Fusion, my memory of Fusion is that it's actually, like, mildly similar. At least compared to something like Super Metroid, it's pretty linear, right? And this looks like it's going to be similarly linear, which is it's predictable. I didn't really expect it to be. I did not really expect it to be like Hollow Knight. Like, let's go a sequence breaking. Team Ninja worked on this. They're not. I don't know of any Team Ninja game where one can sequence break. It's interesting. Map then. Take a look at that. 3 sectors, a main, and a control bridge. We got working elevators. We got working elevators. So, you'd think that Samus would have moved past a lot of this stuff, right? Like, she left the military and became a private bounty hunter because she kind of didn't get along. She didn't like following orders. This story is telling us that she feels bad about that, which is like, maybe if she hadn't accomplished anything, right? If she still felt like leaving the military was, are they gonna let me do it? I don't think they will. Small, tiny bit of sacrilege there. I don't think you can bomb timing your way up into this. I can wall jump. I can probably first person. Probably just all. Not what they want. It's not as cool as double triple bomb glitching, but I'll take it. What is this? What are we doing here? Missile tank. It was inside of a box? Happy to be finding secrets. If she had just left the military, if this reads narratively like it's taking place immediately after, like, imagine the first 3 games hadn't happened. She was still just like bounty hunting around and fighting space pirates. So she was still like conflicted about the decision. It's like, oh, I don't know, man. Maybe I shouldn't have left the military. She's like saved the galaxy 3 times at this point. She should be of the opinion that she absolutely should have left the military and was like, yeah, I'm a very successful and accomplished. Like the amount of self-assuredness is like extremely off. All it takes is seeing your commander officer again in person, and suddenly it's like you're just shattered. You're just back. It's like you're a little girl again. Never mind the all of the world saving that you did. These are definitely like Xeneth enemies. Yeah. When she just left, maybe this confusion would be understandable, but like she should totally have like a ton of confidence. And the other thing that's really like mind-blowing about that is how much stronger of a setup that would be for a conflict, right? Like, you could imagine a version of the story where these military yabos are thinking of her as being like, well, you know, back when you were with the squad, you were like the kid, you know, and they could treat her like that. Like, they could treat her like a kid, which would give you an excuse to have her not behave like a kid and be like, I'm kind of the man now. I'm the man. Y'all are small potatoes. I'm the galaxy-saving hero of this story, so I don't take orders from you. It's just not the objective of the writing, right? Oh, you can chain jumping on enemies. That's very spammy. I like that. I like schlocky stories, actually. Like, schlocky storytelling is it's not bad to have like a cheesy story. But this is beyond cheese. This is just weird construction. It's just unrelatability. It's like, who are you intended to relate to here? I mean, ideally you relate to Samus, but it almost feels like the writers want you to relate to Adam too. It's like, how it'd be much easier to set him up as a bad guy, honestly. Just make him the jerk. And that actually gives you like free license. Wait, Sector 1 is where I came from. I just did a circle. Okay, so this is the hub that divides the sectors, and I'm allowed to just go up. Presumably the other doors were closed.
This elevator is bound for Sector 1. A level 3.
I was not in Sector 1, I was in the Sector hub.
Sector 1.
Okay.
Please avoid traveling alone and remain armed. Stay alert to your surroundings at all times.
I'm alert. I got my tank controls on. I wonder if they're going to use that little, like, pseudo third-person adventure mode for anything other than just interstitials. They did it in the bathroom. For no reason. There was nothing to find in the bathroom, nothing to examine. Also, are all of the items marked on your mini-map? That hadn't really sunk in before. If the objective is just to make finding things easier, then I guess fair enough, but, like, not. It's definitely not within tradition to just... It's just like, I don't know, they're just gonna be blue blinking dots to let you know, like, there's a secret in this room. Some players would probably appreciate that, honestly.
Process successful.
I like searching for collectibles and feeling like feeling like the secrets that I found were actually, like, difficult to intuit. Yeah. Okay, so the Xeneth's environment is here. We've transplanted creatures. We've transplanted creatures from the planet in order to have recognizable and relatable enemies from past games, which is, you know, it's not like your enemy loadout would be better if all you had to fight were station bottle ship security drones or something. It wouldn't be better. So that makes sense. It makes sense to have an excuse. You need an excuse to drag a bunch of familiar organic enemies into this scenario, and that's obviously going to be like, oh yeah, there's the lab. We were studying Metroid. It's already been established that Metroids are very environmentally sensitive, right? Like, they're always doing that. Galactic Federation labs are always... whatever that algae is, it is bulletproof! Galactic Federation labs are always recreating the environments of planets where Metroids are allowed to thrive. Missile empty, easy enough. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. What was that? They're all gonna laugh at you. What? Who dares? What? Huh. Okay. They're teasing an enemy type. It's you. It's you! A chameleon thing. Hi. With the invisibility and whatnot. I just roll around laying bombs like crazy. Alright, maybe not. I'm assuming I'm supposed to scan for you, right? Yeah. Probably jump on your head at some point. Force it down to enemy levels. I've never done that. They've attempted. That's the second time they've attempted to tutorialize some sort of like execute maneuver. There we go. For what it's worth, the combat is, well, okay, it doesn't feel great from a controls perspective, but that's really the controls' fault. That's like, yeah, holding a Wiimote sideways and pointing it at the screen every now and then is going to be awkward no matter what you do. In terms of, from a combat design and animation standpoint, like, these like flashy like finishing moves, the smooth transitions between first person and third person, a lot of effort went into that stuff. Like, it feels weird because of the controls, but it looks and plays like a reasonable like action game. Yeah, no, they definitely, the plants have escaped the lab. Let's check it out. Well, which is more likely? Whoa, I can't believe that worked. That's never happened before. Thanks for the follow. I'm gonna have to animate that icon at some point. Tossed it in there just to get rid of the default, like, Streamlabs zombie or whatever. I have been eaten. And are we shaking the Wiimote? Is that what's happening? Ow? Okay, I guess I'm not wounded enough to repair myself, but still. Also, graphically, for a Wii game, within the constraints and limitations, ow, for when this game was made, and the platform that this game is on, it looks quite good, actually. Obviously, the resolution is low, and that is simply a limitation of the platform that it's on. Nice. We're scoping out extracurricular things, probably. That's the goal, at least. Instead of directly just going where Adam wants, we're poking around. Yeah, okay. How's Can I stand on a vine and shoot you, please? No? Something odd about that lock-on. There's a little delay or something. Like you have to wait until that icon is like. I'm sure you can take but I don't need missiles. We may even be gate kept here, depending on whether or not it's going to let me. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Grapple beam required to get up there. So as predicted, the central shaft. Ow. What about ball form? Whoa. That, okay, shout out to whatever animator had to take. I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the diving blade winged enemies from Metroid, but those things which absolutely would have just like originally been sprites coming down, like sitting on the floor and going back up to the ceiling and back and forth, sometimes drilling into the ground or exploding in some games, depending on which model it is. Shout out to the animator having to actually figure out how that would work in 3D, because that little greebly thing is hanging from the ceiling on 2 feet, and it has like blade wings for arms, and it has to come down, and then it like flips around, and you saw it like standing on its little legs, and like that. Somebody had to like figure out how that would actually work, given that the original context for it was just like, I don't know, this sprite flips up and down. You don't really have to like figure out or animate like how does it grab? How does it like transition from one state to the next? Stop it. Versus plants. It would be faster just to use missiles. Control panel? Scannable? Not scannable. Need to use the AoE on this better, like that. Actually take out multiple fodder enemies at the same time. Alright. Gotta wait for a lull in the spawning. And this was also a missile thing. Right, yeah, at what point is the... Still having trouble finding at what point the missile lock-on is, like, fully authenticated. That's just a lack of buttons, too, right? Like, you've got a button to lock on and move the reticle around, and you've got a button to shoot, meaning one has to gate the other. It's not like there can be a shoot. It's not like there can be a shoot button and a missile button. You've only got the 2 buttons when you're holding this thing like a gun. Oh, it's these things. It's the flying around. It's the things that you usually freeze to like platform in a 2v1. Boy, that auto dodge is incredibly generous. I must have accidentally tapped a direction while the thing was flying at me. So they fly in Castlevania Medusa head-like S curves in their original 2D Metroid format. Seeing that expressed in a 3D environment, that's a little weird. They're a little floaty. Things are like rotating around and kind of bumbling around in 3D space in a way that doesn't. It's like, what part of your biology causes you to move like that through the air? Well, you know, it's a reference to a 2D game. What do you want? Can we get our missile on here? Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the little weird sound effect. See, you weren't targetable before, were you? Now you're gonna wait for the little chicken. That's when it's okay to press A. Missiles. Oh, slidey. I beg your pardon. I'm supposed to jump. Okay. Kind of just let you have at it there. I'm always surprised that given the earlier tutorialization, I'm surprised the game didn't freeze before that big spike thing came up and say, press 2 to jump while sliding. Nope, not the time. Chameleons were new. This armadillo thing is also new. That's not being down, does it? Whoa, that was a bad time to go first person. Yeah, picking a moment to transition is rough. Going to die for the first time. Unless. Nope. Nope. Weird to be at 0 and not dead, but okay. If I can find a moment to recharge, I will. That's the map. Nope. Nope. Didn't complete it. There we go. Okay. Ah! Ah! This came out after Metal Gear Solid, right?
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
So the problem there is jumping. All these little guys, huh? Can I just sneak past you? Probably can. Alright, so because I'm used to platformers, I was doing a lot of jumping to attempt to avoid their attacks, and that is not how you do attacks. You do it by tapping a direction. Any direction, apparently. Like that. That does not down. That does. A lot of charging. Blast you out of that shake. Shaky. Button mashing. Something. It's possible that that sequence just needs to play out. Kind of dang near invincible if you're tapping directions while an enemy decides to attack you. Oh, okay, the little guys hid while they spawn, so they're still here. And I'm guessing I'm not low enough to... Nope. Now I am. Up to 1 tank. So the extra tanks are probably really, really good under this system, right? If you're not going to receive healing items from enemies, I red door privileges, or what have you. Oh, hey. Oh, I don't have super bomb privileges yet, do I? Adam. Don't appreciate it, sir. Look at all the dodges! Look at all the dodges! He's just continually attempting to hover strike you. Just like, no, dodge, no, dodge, no, dodge. It's just, that's not special. I'm not hitting anything other than, I'm just trying to move. And it just happens. Wait, why does this chamber exist? Ah. Let's see. Let's find out. No? Dark blast? No? Alright. Nope. There we go. I either don't have the timing right anymore, or you could just jump up and grab a thing. Why not? That dumps you out where? Okay. Almost feel like I should have explored better before. Oh, hi. Are you a missile port? No. You are a super missile port. Cool lab things. Scannable. Not so much. So, no sign, no hide nor hair of like what is the dealio yet. We're being handed a lot of vibes. We got lab vibes. We got Zebus vibes. So hey, Zebus-based lab, right? Somebody's doing Metroid experiments again, which is funny because we made such a big deal out of like that sample that the Space Pirates stole and mutated being the last Metroid because you killed all of the variants of them in Metroid 2, but it will be interesting to see whether or not Dread follows through on its concept of no, we're moving past Metroids. Like, it's in the name still, right? They can't ever not have the name of the series be Metroid, so is it a desire? They seem to want to kill off all the Metroids a lot for a series that's called Metroid. It feels like there will always be at least one more artificial one in captivity or being artificially bred or created.
The large cage-like booth looked like something had been raised in it.
Something.
And in one corner was the miserable form of a researcher's corpse. This victim hadn't sustained the same injuries. The dead I'd seen had been torn apart by something large. This one had been attacked by a different type of creature.
Well, you've been fighting
And
big
as I
things
studied
this
the
whole
violence
time.
this creature had wrought, I felt something in the air. The presence of a dark intelligence.
A dark intelligence. You're a couple games too early for Dark Samus. I don't see anything to scan, but I should try scanning his corpse. Lab worker. I guess I just miss Prime. I miss Prime scannage. Metroid Prime scannage is akin to, it's like Dark Souls items descriptions. It's a very good place to put lore and extra materials, because if you don't care, you just don't scan his stuff. If you don't care, you just don't read item descriptions. It's easy to not do, and for those that want it, it's right there, and it's fun to dig into. Heck of a lot of details. So let me guess. This is a dead end for me to just discover ZOMG, they were keeping something in here. It's like, I got a bad feeling about this, and then it's gonna, on my way out, right? We gotta face it down on the way out, which is why we're in adventure game mode right now. No? Oh, but it locks. So something has changed. We're state changing the environment, obviously. This was the dead end room with the, oh. You weren't in this tank before. But now you are, and the tank is now also destructible. Can I... Oh, okay. Alright. A different duct path. Yeah, never mind. Triggering things. Okay. I don't think I can move right now. No. The hunter has become the hunter. Years before there were porgs. Years before there were porgs. Other M had...
Samus, proceed
Mugglings,
through the hatch
whatever
I
they
just
are.
unlocked. Your next destination is a little further ahead.
It's nothing, it was a cat. Oh, and now the door unlocks, right, of course. Did you do that, Adam? Did you unlock that door for me? Wait. Wait. But sinister. Cute but sinister. Moogle Porg. Moogle Porg! Oh. Three that time. You know what? I probably missed. That's probably what happened there. I probably missed. Straight up fired and I missed. What? Is this a virtual environment? Am I trapped in a virtual cage? That's a nice, that's a funny little bit of signposting. Little glowy creatures emerge from it does beg the question of why the weird invisible force field door here, but okay. I mean, we'll benefit of the doubt. Something is up with that. We'll find out what it is later, presumably. For now, this is the way to go. Yeah, okay. It's being... We're in stealth camo land. And this is a stealth camo emitter. I probably just... This thing probably just needs to die, right? Nope. Okay. I was. Yeah. Artificially extended environment. Okay. Preserving the illusion for the captive life forms, no doubt. I think these are infinite spawners. By Jove. Jove, they're never going to stop. Ah. Detox. They stop now, right? Now that we've decontaminated the corridor. Great. Wow, yeah, you got a whole fake virtual environment thing here. That's neat. I'll admit, that's a neat way to... Here, we can... map. Get the map or something. Things. Yeah. Using holodeck-style force fields and visuals to extend the environments beyond the space station is a nice touch. Good excuses there to have... Like, you need the different... you need the differentiated environments. I just totally missed something there. Maybe it was something that I couldn't get. Yeah, see, that on one level it feels like I legitimately just missed this. Because I wasn't paying attention. And the dots on the minimap, it just makes it easy. You know, it's not that big of a deal. When, especially given this is a fully 3D environment, right? Like, part of what makes the secrets so satisfying to find in a 2D level design is how comprehensible it is, right? Like, it's very easy to comprehend a two-dimensional environment. There's only 2 dimensions. When you're only working with up, down, left, right, it's much more satisfying to, like, punch holes in that structure and figure out, like, you know, it doesn't look like there's a way to go right further here, but there is. In a 3D environment, hiding a thing can feel like kind of BS. Like, you could hide anything anywhere, right? Like, in theory, if they wanted to, there could just be like a hole behind me on this wall that I just never see because the camera never is pointed that way. And it would feel like that would be a BS secret, to just have like a little entrance I can roll into back here next to the door, given that just isn't the camera angle that the game is played from normally. If some of your secrets feel like BS to find from a level design standpoint, in that context, it's not terrible to have the hint be, oh yeah, on the minimap, why is there a blue dot like off the map in that direction? Maybe I should look in that direction. Oh, there's a hole, a hidden hole there. That's a reasonable chain of discovery, really. It's just so different. It's so different having hiding things. Playing hide and seek in a 3-dimensional level is just very, very different than a 2-dimensional one. So I don't actually hate or mind that all the items are marked. It's quote unquote easy. It makes things easy to find, but hey, it's to balance the fact that the environment is arguably hard to parse. Yay, you're doing it right. You're doing it right, level designers. You passed the test. You passed the test, level designers. The secrets, they're behind the waterfall. That's where you put them. It's not even secrets in this case. In this case, it's not even secrets. It's just critical path. I approve. I approve. You did it. That's bold. That's bold. That's bold level design. The hidden passage behind the waterfall, it's not even a secret. It's required. Fun little wall cutaway so you can see yourself going through the tunnels. That's very Metroid Prime. Dig it. Oh. Hi, you're organic. And probably hostile. And asleep right now. Where will I walk and what will I do that inevitably pisses you off enough? I need to take down your fun holographic. Right? Hello. Something odd about the interaction. Yep. Oh, I'm pissed. I'm pissed because you took away my cool environment. A lot less. I would be heck of a lot less stressed under those situations if enemies had a chance to drop a little bit of energy. It's actually odd. Uh-oh. Okay, it checkpointed. I'm like, when was the last time I was in one of those pods? Uh-oh. Okay. Downright compared to last time. Can I cut you off at the... Whoa. Alright. You got a mouth on the other side. Look at you. Not so tough. Big, huge grace period on the, like, so they get you down to, like, 0 health, and then you kind of have this, like, invulnerability shield. You have plot armor. They have to crack through your, like, 0 HP plot armor before they actually get the kill on you. That's kind of, yeah, it's a little action movie-esque, but it's dramatic. And it definitely feels tense, right? Like there was a situation when it got the game over on me there. I was definitely, it finished me off because I was tensed up, and I was tensed up because I was caught up in the drama of the, like, oh my god, you have 0 HP that's like flickering between 0 and 1 HP. Quintabomb technique. I should do that. I should do that in combat sometime and see how that treats me. Oh. A shattery door. I guess I should probably allow myself to be restored. Okay. So it's a combined thing, right? That used to be very separate. Maps and energy and weapon energy. It's all in one. The all-in-one pad gives you map data, refreshes all your shiz. Does it all. Is this the way I want to be going, is the question. Oh, hi. Am I getting like boss previews now? They're dropping crazy globes and alright. Stompy tree giraffes are in my future, is what that corridor says. What's all this then? Welcome to what used to be the Scientist Lounge. Another ladies' room. Alright, will there be anything in the ladies' room? Also, will they ever give me access to a men's room? Given that it is a ruined bottle ship. It is a facility in ruin. Nobody is currently working here. It does not matter which bathroom you are not allowed into. We're allowed into the ladies' room. Lest we forget that Samus is a lady. I know it's hard to remember, given this bulky power suit, but we, the level designers, will remind you via access to the ladies' room that you are in fact a lady. What's the deal? Okay. I opened a door. Excel charge. This will make you charge faster. Oh. Like less wait time? Less wait time on charge shots? Wow. That might be the most valuable power-up idea that they've expressed yet. Outside of E-tanks, obviously E-tanks, good, quite good. Oh, hi. Floaties, floaties. Hello, floaties, floaties. There's that. They're all gonna laugh at you. Is that what the cute critters sound like? Ominous cute? Ominous? Something up there? Oh, I could fall down here, clearly. From where? I don't know. Oh. Okay. Can I go first person? Yes, I can. Okay. Oh dear. Am I expected to do something about this? I think I want me to drop the elevator. Yeah. Stuck with that a little bit too long. I leaned into trying to defeat that thing instead of doing the obvious environmental interaction of there's another thing to shoot over here. So OMG, I should shoot that thing. But instead, nope. Nope. I was wrong. Oh. That would also be wrong. Huh. Dang, yo. Bad checkpointing. When fail states are extremely easy to flail into, best place for a checkpoint is right before that point of failure to limit repeat frustration. Because that's just how it goes. Because that's just game design, baby. Really got to get down. Really got to get down into that alcove. Just get down there. Don't take time to shoot at him. Please drop down. Okay. Bye. I solved the puzzle. It wasn't that complicated. Both I and the controls made it more complicated than it needed to be. Bye. Super missile door, right? Yeah. Super missile door. Great. How are they going to let me switch to super missiles? D-pad? It's going to be like, hit down on the D-pad and then hit A while aiming. Oh. A nice little control center here. A conspicuous hatch. Blast the hatch. Roll into the hatch. Not allowed to go back. Not allowed to go up into where the garbage shoots. Oh! Surprise. Maybe you should back off when you defeat the garbage. What if there's an enemy instead of garbage? Oh. Cute little mechanical jump scare. Oh. Then do you recognize the shape of the garbage for a secret route that requires the grapple. Boom. Well, that's just Metroid, baby. That's just how that goes. We're gonna show you stuff and test your memory. Can you memorize where the stuff is? Whoa. Oh no. Oh no. Ha 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 ha. Jump plus bomb. Yes, you thought you could deprive me of missiles. No. No, you cannot. Hi. Ow. The texture on these things is like similar to garbage. Hey. Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. The texture on these things is similar to the garbage, and that actually mechanically matters. Real good. That's real good. Real good use of materials and textures to communicate level design in games. Dope. And I'm rewarded. I'm rewarded for being observant. This would be the preview, right? This would be the like, oh, there's a thing. Oh, how do I get it? I should backtrack. No need. Reload the missiles. Ominous rumblings. Whoa, whoa, okay. Hi. Is that it? Was that just, that's just what that was? It was just like a Samus moment? A random Samus moment? Oh, hi. I think I've got the timing roughly down now on is the missile actually going to fire if I push the button now, or is it not? Oh. Hi. If you just charge up and then just run into a guy that is down, it'll do that. Fair enough. Power bomb. Okay. All right. Well, we're learning what the different hatch types look like, so that's good. Cool.
Sequence complete. Process successful.
At some point, if they know what they're doing, if the level designers know what they're doing, at some point they need to hide some small difference in one of these, because all of these rooms, I think, have been identical, right? And we've seen, like, we were in, like, iteration 3 or 4 of the identical save room. So, subverting the identical save room sequence by having, like, and here's a save room that looks identical but isn't, and has a secret in it. If they don't do that, missed opportunity. It's an old Metroid pattern. Right, like it just auto-targeted the one that didn't have its gun. Okay, just more shot spam while their, like, bits are showing. Seems better. What was that? A heal? An energy part? A diffusion beam. Oh. whoa, whoa, whoa. Nice. Alright, so it's just like way better AoE for which is great. I can absolutely get behind that. Oh, am I on TV? No. That's the other room that I was in, the one where I blew the hole in the door and fell down. Right, so, okay. That was the hint that... So I couldn't go that way before, even though I didn't try. Right. Right. Them out of their holes. Well, a necessary amount of like teleporty madness needs to occur to like get you over to its mouth to do the paired animation. But what was the... I feel like I just thought of a note. So, right. The level design sequencing relies a bit more on triggered events than is wise. Ideally, the diffusion beam itself would have opened the way forward, as opposed to an enemy cutscene doing it for you, which is... This is a very minor and nitpicky point, but it factors into how much of the game feels like it is dedicated to the act of exploration, right? One of the things that makes Metroid games cool is they have quite a bit of exploration focus, and I guess it's what I'll call mechanical theming or binding, that when the exploration rewards you with abilities, and then the abilities allow for more exploration, it just adds to the feel. It adds to the feel that exploration is important and that it is a game about exploration. This, like, the way that sequence just happened, like, I found the diffusion beam, and the diffusion beam is just a power-up for me. Meanwhile, like, so it's like, where do I go? Well, there's only one way to go, is back the way you came. And then as you come back, giant worms erupt and burst from the environment, which presumably, I imagine the giant worms bursting from the environment, are they incidental? It's really odd. It's odd that it's actually odd that the worms are... No. Okay. This thing... This thing is arbitrarily active now. That's flashy. I'll admit. That's super flashy. Wow, you just kind of brute force your way through those ones, can't you? Who would have thought that there was a hole under this thing? If I had looked more closely, I probably would have thought. Okay, so that's part of the shortcut that gets you back to... I'm seeing a lot of blue dots. One in the corner of this room, and... We'll scope it out. We'll do some exploration. There's always a hard limit on how much extra curricular exploration it even makes sense to do. Like, structurally. I kind of want to at least check. Whoa. That enemy respawn. Do I don't know that I actually have a way up there. Because I don't think that's how it happened before. Right, it was the waterfall before. Okay. Yes. My poor memory. And then we're up here now. And did I failed to notice that there's like yet another level up there or something? Maybe? It's part of this. Yeah, right. It's, okay, at least one of them is the grapple beam thing that I heard earlier. Hi boys on ceiling. I don't think I need you. I don't think you're the ones. Whoa. Whoa. Jump with bad timing. It's fine, there's a heal right here.
Sequence complete. Process successful.
Okay. That's the doorway unlocked. Hold up, though. There was the preview of the enormous monsters. Never noticed those red cusps on the minimap before. Presumably those denote like the presence of enemies. Like enemies exist in this area. Seems like it. Oh, hi. Yo, these control panels. Oh. Wait. That just changed it from, like, night to day? Is that important? Can I switch it back? Oh, weird. There's, like, glitches in the hologram now. That looks like a... It sure looks like a weak point. How odd. Oh, bombs. Right. Right, bombs. Right. Okay. Where the... Wrong. Oh. I am getting spider vibes. Hey, someone's on delivery. That is real awkward. Real awkward. Fighting towards off-screen enemies happens quite a bit more often than the third-person camera can really help you out with. That's just one of those, like, basic rule of thumb things that, I don't know, when you get yourself into a setup like this, involving third-person cameras with, like, intended directions, like this camera has this corridor has an intended traversal direction, and it doesn't have an easy way to, like, flip it. Like, I can first person and look down the corridor the opposite direction, but there's no way to, like, flip the camera around. And you just don't have the buttons for it, right? There's no right analog stick. There's no shoulder buttons that you could tap to, like, invert the camera angle. Very limited solutions, right? You could discourage the AIs from attacking from that side. That's highly exploitable, right? You'd exploit that when you get into combat. If you notice, like, oh, enemies, like, they flip to a sort of a passive mode whenever they're off camera. So the way to defeat them is to get them off camera, then shoot them. It's unsatisfying. So. Oh dear. There's a biological experiment floor. You hate to see it. Why can I recall the name of the ghost boss from Super Metroid and not the plant boss? Probably because the plant boss is a pushover. Getting some serious Super Metroid plant boss vibes here. Whoops. No? Yep. Right into the plant genitalia. Directly into the plant genitalia. Baby, I don't know if I want to explore your state. Bugaboos. Ah. That did not seem terribly avoidable to me. We got this AoE charge blast. Whoa! Nice. Okay, so there's an end to them. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Missiles? Yeah, missiles. Yeah, that's right. Orange. Only when they're open. Done with those for now. Whoop. Very awkward. It's really, I cannot understate how awkward it is to go into first person and have, like, projectiles slowly traveling towards you. You're like, I have no way to move in this mode. It looks like it applied some slowdown. I should probably attempt to get a charge off. That actually worked. The mid-combat charge actually worked for once. Target, targeting, yeah, that feels real, okay. Oh, the hive. I demand queen access. Missilage. This thing was minding its own business.
Some creatures use the powers of others to capture their prey. Watching this disgusting beast, I felt as though it was feeding off my power
Disgusting.
as well. At the same time, a thought crossed my mind. That howl I heard earlier, could this creature have been the source?
Okay, so the implication is that the cute thing has been following you around. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Head to the biosphere test area in your current sector. There should be some important information about this facility in that exam center. The other members are en route. Quickly, go meet them there.
Still just trying to find out more about the facility, I guess. They have to know more than they're saying. Why else would they be sent here? Oh, hi. Armored boys. There's that little blinking sound again. I feel like that's an item notification of some sort. Yeah, okay. Energy part. More in your energy capacity will increase. What? Whoa. Partial E-tanks? Okay. Whoa, that's a big deal. There are not enough collectible locations such that they needed to introduce partial E-tanks? I guess you can argue that in an average Metroid game, the number of missile pickups is pretty egregious. Like, it's just way more than you would ever need. Which you could also, it's not really a bad thing. It's just ensuring that the player is very likely to find enough, basically, is what that comes down to. The reason why there's so many, missile pickups and extra bomb pickups and stuff in your average Metroid game. Oh, is the door now unlocked?
Sequence complete. Process successful.
It's ensuring that you save before you progress. All right, forward ho. We're kind of looking for, a convenient stopping point. A boss or a big plot beat would do. Under this one. This has already been burned open. Did I do that? No, the implication is that the team did that. Ah, yes. We've obtained awkward water physics. Now that's strange. Has a very odd feel to it. suppose. Alright. It's super weird. It's super weird. So, what do we got here? Will it let you shoot just as fast despite the water? I don't. I would have to go back. I would have to actually boot it up, but I feel like you can shoot at the same speed when underwater in Super Metroid, and this is the super slow. Everything is slow. Everything you do is slow. All animations are slow. It requires an animation to shoot. Therefore, shooting is slow. Doesn't feel like it should be that way though. Oh, so that thing is gonna carry me across now, I assume. Hoofing it, hoofing it, hoofing it. Yes. Cling to this thing now. Ow. Okay. They have to be open. The missiles bounce off of them if they are closed. Gotcha. Awkward. Missed. Oh, wow. Oh, there's deadly fish down there. Come now. Come now, Razorfish. Be reasonable. Auto aim, don't fail me now. What is that? It is another switch. Great. Crush me. The wall jump scenario. Let me look for another switch. A rain chamber. Wow. This, Oh, hi. What are you? What do you want? Oh, are we in the, Okay, so there's an artificial... This looks like it might be the same environment that those giant things were traipsing around, right? That would pay that little reveal off. We had to fight a couple of those. going? What is happening here? Ow. Bud. Stop hogging the tunnel. Free tunnel, man. Just as much right to be rolling around in here as you. Yeah. Well, now that I'm keeping an eye out for you. Ah. Not ready enough, apparently. You have to hold still in front of the panel before, like... Yep. Alright. Called it. That's really cool. Very creative monster design. It's a shame that it's like the physicality of multiple limbs. It's a shame that it needs to shoot purple homing pods as its like attack, because if all it did was swipe at you, that wouldn't be enough. Right? It needs a ranged threat to make your attempt to attack it from above and below hazardous. But, you know, still really cool. Yeah, we got a broken elevator here. Need more power-ups. Alright, well we didn't... We were never going to learn what was up with the station. What was up with the bottle ship. All in one go. Anyway, but, man. So...
Process successful.
Better than... the... Okay. First session impressions. The art animation, monster and combat design, all better than I anticipated. Like, it looks and moves much better than I thought. The story is well, I knew going into it from other people's impressions that the story would be bad. I had no idea how awkward. So just, yeah, confirmed as bad as I imagined. Controls way worse. Like, control scheme, my goodness, even worse than I thought it would be. Had no idea this whole flipping the controller back and forth thing was even a deal. Super gimmicky, right? Super great example of the it's, well, compare and contrast to Skyward Sword, right? Where the controls for Skyward Sword are very much informed. The game, the type of game that it is, and the gameplay isn't informing the controls. The controls are informing what kind of game it is. Like control scheme first. You know, it's Miyamoto. It's a higher up saying, Wii Motion Plus is a thing. True gyroscopic one-to-one motion is a thing, and like New Zelda needs to operate around that. Needs to be all the designs in the game need to be excuses to use that, even in cases where, you know, aiming a bow would be easier and more accurate in many situations. Combat would be easier and more accurate in many situations if it was just buttons. But, you know, the motion controls, similarly to that, this gimmick of turning the control on its side and pointing it at the screen and flipping back and forth to go between third and first person, super awkward. Like, it's definitely the controller itself and the feature set of the Wii dictating what type of game Metroid Other M should be, not Metroid Other M being like, here's the game, it's fun for this reason, the controls need to, because if the controls bent to accommodate the game, you would absolutely be using a nunchuck, like no question in my mind. That the game would just be easier to play. You'd have more buttons. You'd have more buttons to work with. You'd be freer to make the frankly actually already solid combat interactions sing even louder. But despite all that, looking forward to coming back at it. So I thank you so much for watching, as always, and see you next time.